We've all heard the saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure. But what if that treasure is hidden in the walls of an old house, tucked away in a forgotten attic, or buried in the backyard of an abandoned building? The world is full of forgotten places, left behind by time, neglect, or circumstance. Yet, every now and then, something extraordinary is uncovered, something worth more than we could ever imagine. From rare artifacts to priceless coins, the things people have stumbled upon in abandoned places can seem almost like scenes from a treasure hunt movie. But these aren't fictional tales. They're real discoveries that have changed lives and filled bank accounts. So grab a seat and get ready to hear about 15 of the most valuable things ever found in abandoned places. You won't believe where some of them were hiding. Number 15. The $1 million lottery ticket. Life has a funny way of presenting us with fortune in the most unexpected of places. Edward St. John experienced just that when he found a $1 million lottery ticket while scavenging through an abandoned dumpster. Incredibly, the ticket had been discarded, seemingly without any knowledge of its worth. John's lucky find could have been the most serendipitous moment of his life, until the ticket's rightful owner came forward, suing him for the prize. While John couldn't walk away with the entire jackpot, he did receive a portion of the winnings, proving that fortune favors the bold, even when it's found in the trash. The surreal discovery of a winning lottery ticket, forgotten in the depths of a dumpster, is a striking reminder that sometimes destiny is hidden in the most unlikely places. Number 14. Mayan relics found in trash. Imagine digging through someone else's trash and stumbling upon something that could change your life. That's exactly what happened to Nick Demolay, a junk removal specialist from New York. Back in 2004, while clearing out the basement of an old abandoned estate in Manhattan, Nick found a few dusty clay figurines and some old bowls wrapped up in a plastic bag. At first glance, these items seemed like nothing more than old junk, but something about them piqued his interest. 5 years later, Nick came across the items again, and after doing some research, was shocked to discover that they were ancient Mayan relics, over 2,300 years old. These seemingly worthless pieces of clay were actually worth a staggering $16,500. Imagine thinking you're just cleaning out a basement, only to find a treasure worth more than most people make in a year. It's like a real-life, one man's trash is another man's treasure moment. Number 13. Photo of Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid was a name that echoed through the dusty plains of the American West. An outlaw infamous for his daring escapes and bloody deeds, he lived a short, turbulent life. Yet despite his legendary status, only 2 authentic photos of him were known to exist. Fast forward to October 2015, when a man named Gajaro stumbled upon one of these rare images in an antique shop for a mere $2. Initially unaware of its value, Gajaro examined it closely, only to discover it captured Billy the Kid himself. Along with members of the Lincoln County regulators, the photo showed them playing croquet. At that moment, an ordinary antique shop find became a historical jackpot, and the photo's value soared to an incredible $5 million. A reminder that the past, though elusive, sometimes reveals its greatest treasures when least expected. Number 12. Hidden silver coins inside a wall. Here's a story that sounds like it's straight out of a movie. Treasure hidden in the walls of an abandoned house. Jeff Bidlin, in 2007, was clearing out an old home in Winber, Pennsylvania, when he made an unbelievable discovery. While sorting through piles of forgotten belongings, he noticed a hole in the wall. Curiosity got the best of him, and he decided to investigate. To his surprise, he found hundreds of silver coins stashed away in the wall. Turns out, the homeowner had been hiding them there for decades. The coins, which dated back to the 1700s, were worth a whopping $200,000. The homeowner's daughter had remembered rumors of the coins being hidden when she was a child, but no one knew for sure. Jeff's discovery was like winning the lottery, but without all the formalities, just a good old-fashioned treasure hunt in a home that time had forgotten. Number 11. 497 gold coins found in a rafter. Talk about a one-in-a-lifetime find. In 2012, a team of workers in France were renovating an old winery building when they made an astonishing discovery. While working on the ceiling, one worker's crowbar hit something hard, causing objects to fall down onto his hard hat. What landed wasn't debris, but hundreds of gold coins. Hidden away in the rafters of this winery, which had been abandoned for decades, were 497 gold coins, neatly packed into bags. These coins, minted between 1851 and 1928, had been tucked away for safekeeping by the former owner of the winery, a French wine producer. When the workers unearthed the treasure, it was valued at around $1 million. The owner of the winery decided to split the treasure with the workers, rewarding them for their discovery. It's hard to imagine how their day went from a typical renovation job to a historic treasure find worth millions. A day they'll never forget, for sure. Number 10. Old sports cards in a warehouse. Detroit is known for its abandoned buildings, but you wouldn't believe what one group of urban explorers found hidden in an old, crumbling warehouse back in 2015. The explorers came across boxes upon boxes of sports cards from the 1980s and 90s, millions of them, stored away in crates, forgotten for years. While each card might not have been worth a fortune on its own, the entire collection was estimated to be worth a cool $1 million. The cards, which had been purchased in 1993 by Hubert Hammond, were stored in the warehouse after Hubert passed away. The discovery left the city buzzing with excitement, as no one knew who owned the cards or how they ended up there. Was it the warehouse owner's treasure, or did it belong to the state? Either way, these forgotten relics of sports history turned out to be worth a small fortune, showing how a bit of nostalgia can sometimes be the key to unexpected riches. Number 9. A doorstop worth millions. This one's a jaw-dropper. Picture this. You're rummaging through an abandoned shed, and you find an old dusty bust. It's not much to look at, so you use it as a doorstop. Fast forward 70 years, and that humble object turns out to be worth a small fortune. That's exactly what happened when Maxine Smith discovered a bust of Sir John Gordon in an old shed in 1991. The sculpture, created by famous French sculptor Edmond Barton in 1728, had been used as a doorstop for decades. Maxine didn't think much of it at the time, but in 2016 it was revealed that the bust was worth a staggering $1.9 million. It had once been bought for only $5 in the 1920s, but in the right hands, it became one of the most valuable art finds of the 21st century. Who knew that a former doorstop could have such a high price tag? It's proof that value is often hidden in plain sight. Number 8. Hundreds of paintings in a barn. Francis Hines, a Connecticut-based artist, spent much of his life creating hundreds of unique artworks in a barn that doubled as his studio. His passion for painting car parts filled the barn with colorful, often abstract depictions of mechanical wonders. But when Hines passed away, the barn, like many forgotten places, stood silent for years. That is, until a mechanic named Jared Whipple got a tip from a contractor who knew of the artist's work. Intrigued, Whipple sought out the barn and, with permission from Hines's family, began collecting the paintings. What he didn't expect was that these seemingly modest works were actually worth millions. After years of research, it was confirmed that the collection could fetch a fortune. What's even more fascinating, Whipple got to keep all the proceeds, as the family had granted him full rights to sell them. It was truly a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Number 7. Batman in the basement. Sometimes treasure comes in the most unlikely of forms. Michael Rohrer, while cleaning out his great-aunt's home in Virginia, stumbled upon a hidden gem, a collection of comic books that had once belonged to his late uncle. At first glance, they seemed like old, worn papers that had little value. But Michael's curiosity paid off when he discovered one particularly rare comic. Detective Comics for 27, the very first appearance of Batman. Little did he know, this comic was worth millions. Michael's find was sold for an incredible $3.5 million at an auction in 2012, making him an instant millionaire. It's amazing how something as humble as a comic book collection, tucked away in a basement, can hold such immense value. In a world full of buried treasures, Michael Rohrer found a fortune that many dream of, proving that hidden gems can turn up in the most unexpected places. Number 6. Gold pieces. Worth millions. Not all treasure hunts take you to far-off lands. Sometimes it's waiting for you in a dusty, forgotten house. In 2016, a man inherited an old, rickety home in Normandy, France, tucked away from civilization. At first, it seemed like just another rundown property, but while cleaning out the house, he made a discovery that would change his life forever. Hidden in a corner of the house, he found a stash of gold, 5,000 coins, 2 bars, and 37 ingots, kept secret for over 70 years. This hidden treasure was valued at around $3.8 million, a fortune just waiting to be uncovered. It's an incredible reminder that sometimes wealth isn't found in the most obvious places. For this lucky heir, an inherited home full of dust and history turned out to be the key to a fortune that changed his life overnight. Some treasures, it seems, really are buried right beneath our feet. Number 5. The treasure hoard in Soda Salsa. In the small Polish town of Soda Salsa, a remarkable discovery was made during the renovation of an old telephone exchange. Construction workers stumbled upon an astonishing treasure trove, over 3,000 priceless artifacts buried beneath the building's foundations. These relics, dating back to the 14th century, were part of the lost hoard of King Charles IV of the House of Luxembourg. Among the treasures were gold crowns, precious gemstones, and the sparkling remains of medieval jewelry, including a diamond-plated clasp once owned by Blanche of Valois, the king's first wife. The most striking part of the discovery was a cache of gold and silver coins, a testament to the opulence of a bygone era. As researchers pieced together the artifacts' origins, the sheer magnitude of their historical and cultural value became clear. The treasures, dubbed the Soda Treasure, are now worth over $100 million, a priceless glimpse into medieval European royalty. Number 4. The ring with Charlotte Bronte's hair. Imagine unearthing a seemingly ordinary ring that holds within it the deep echoes of literary history. This is exactly what happened when a woman found a modest ring while clearing out her father-in-law's attic. Upon closer inspection, she realized it was no ordinary piece of jewelry. It was a ring once owned by none other than Charlotte Bronte, the famed Victorian author of Jane Eyre. The ring, engraved with Bronte's name and the date of her death, contained a single lock of her hair, an intimate memento from an era where such practices were common. Hair jewelry, often kept to memorialize loved ones, served as a tangible connection to the past. This unique relic, steeped in the personal history of one of the world's greatest authors, was sold at auction for a staggering $12,600. It stands as a testament to the enduring power of both literature and memory. Number 3. Michael Jackson's unreleased tracks. While digging through the storage unit of Joe Jackson, father to the King of Pop, 2 treasure hunters uncovered an incredible musical treasure trove, 250 unreleased tracks by Michael Jackson, some of which were collaborations with the legendary Tina Turner. This unexpected discovery sent ripples through the music world. These tracks, many recorded during Jackson's various stints between record deals, had remained hidden for years, awaiting the light of day. The collection of unreleased works offered a tantalizing glimpse into Jackson's creative genius, with some tracks never before heard by the public. But as exciting as the find was, it came with its own complications. Due to the lack of official rights and ownership claims, the treasure hunters could not claim the tracks for themselves. Still, the discovery served as a reminder of Jackson's immense musical legacy and the treasures that lie hidden in forgotten corners of the world. Number 2. Pablo Escobar's fortune. Pablo Escobar, the notorious Colombian drug lord, amassed a fortune that defied belief. $500 million stashed across Colombia. From barrels buried in forests to walls in his properties, Escobar's money was scattered far and wide, hidden in the most unexpected places. After his death in 1993, the hunt for his hidden fortune began. One of the most incredible discoveries came from an old man who unearthed $1.6 million buried on his newly acquired farmland. Another discovery occurred when Escobar's nephew, Nicholas, found a decaying bag of banknotes hidden in the walls of one of his uncle's safe houses. Although much of the money was rotting, the discovery confirmed that Escobar's wealth was far more than just legend. Some treasures, it seems, are far from gone. They just lie waiting to be found. Number 1. The 13th century painting. In the French town of Compiègne, an elderly woman invited experts to assess her belongings before selling her house. Among the dust and clutter, something incredible lay hidden in plain sight. A rare 13th century painting hanging above the stove like any other kitchen decoration. Unbeknownst to her, this seemingly ordinary religious icon turned out to be a masterpiece by the renowned Florentine artist Cimabue. The painting, titled Christ Mocked, was part of a diptych created in the late 1200s, depicting the Passion and Crucifixion of Christ. Experts were astonished by its historical significance and rarity. Only 11 pieces like it exist in the world. The painting was valued at an astounding $4 to $6.6 million, an unexpected treasure buried within the walls of a humble French home. The woman had unknowingly kept the artwork for decades, turning an ordinary kitchen into a gallery of priceless history. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.